Hello and welcome to our next presentation, which will be about CFlex, the Consortium for Flexible Packaging, with the title Innovative Collaboration to Make Flexible Packaging Circular. I'm really glad to have with me today Dana Musora, who will tell us about CFlex, and please, Dana, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Ina. Really pleased to be here. And to avoid question marks about what's CFlex, I'm actually going to start with a little movie.
Flexible packaging is an important part of our modern world. It protects food and other goods and is generally made of plastics, but can also include other materials such as paper or aluminium foil. This helps ensure products reach consumers safe and fresh, preserving nutrition, taste and quality. It reduces waste of the goods it protects and often uses far less material than alternative packaging. Being very light and thin, flexible packaging reduces the environmental impact of transportation. The qualities that make it so useful, lightweight and resource efficient also present a challenge. The financial incentives for collection and recycling of post-consumer flexible packaging are currently less compelling when compared to many heavier packaging alternatives. And like all products, when disposed incorrectly, it can end up as litter. Many companies and organizations associated with flexible packaging in Europe recognize the need to transform the linear economy of take, make and dispose, and have taken leadership to address this challenge by joining the CFlex initiative to deliver a circular economy for flexible packaging. The circular economy we are committed to being part of avoids waste and pollution by redesigning consumer flexible packaging and also provides appropriate collection and recycling infrastructure in all European countries. This will enable used flexible packaging to be cost-effectively recovered and the resources returned to the economy to be used again and again. CFlex is a growing collective of over 130 companies and organizations, representing all parts of the value chain connected to flexible packaging. Our aim is to enable collection of all flexible packaging and recycle 80% of it into new valuable materials, becoming either new packaging or flowing back into the wider circular economy. Our vision is a Europe where flexible packaging is integral to a truly circular and sustainable future. Together, this is our mission circular, to create multiple lives for flexible packaging materials.
So, this is who we are. CFlex is probably the largest or one of the largest consortiums which operate today in Europe, totaling actually today over 130 stakeholders. And the companies which are part of the stakeholder make together over 1.2 trillion euro in turnover. So we're talking about a truly powerful group of companies which can together, through collaboration, change the status quo of flexible packaging in Europe. We're talking about having in the consortium over 80% of the converters creating flexible packaging, 4 out of the 5 largest brand owners globally. In fact, just Coca-Cola is not part of the consortium for obvious reasons. We are having 4 out of the 6 global polyolefin producers and many either European or worldwide leaders in materials recovery, recycling, and collection schemes. And we are together with a quite ambitious mission, which is to enable by 2025 that all flexible packaging put on the market, it's being collected, with over 80% of it actually returning to the economy as materials. To achieve such an ambitious vision, we had set for us 2 key objectives. Number 1 is that all flexible packaging is designed such as after use, it can be both sorted and then recycled. And the second, equally important, to make sure that there are enough sustainable end markets which can absorb such a big upcoming volume of waste from this type of packaging. I always say that it's great to have ambitious vision, that's right, to have stretch objectives, but the most important thing is to have the action in place and the tools in place to get there. So what we had done to enable the collaboration of this large consortium to translate into action is we divided ourselves in work groups, and which work group is actually focusing on one technical challenge which represent altogether the challenge of the circular economy. Moreover, and this was a substantial work of all our stakeholders, we had really worked together to have not only a vision and objectives, but a roadmap to get us there. And a roadmap which today we can confidently say everybody, every single of the 140 plus stakeholders embrace, and not only embrace, but have made their entire organizations embrace and drive the action to jointly get us towards the objectives of our project. So the 5 steps of this roadmap are the following. Number 1, collect all flexible packaging separately for sorting and collection. And I just want to remind you that in reality in Europe, all packaging, including flexible packaging, is being collected. The fact that it's collected is not enough because it's not always collected for sorting and recycling. So what will make the difference is to do this extra step. Second objective is to sort all the monomaterial type of packaging, which we all know that technically is ready to be mechanically recycled, sort it in clean streams, which can follow the path towards recycling. And this would represent about 80% of the volume of waste of flexible packaging which is put on the market. Third, it's really addressing the 20% left, which represent the most of the time necessary multi-material flexible packaging, redesign as much as possible, as big fraction of that into monomaterial, but considering to keep the performance requirements of the packaging. So do not redesign as monomaterial for the sake of recycling, but redesign if this is possible, and if this kind of advance towards circular economy will preserve the sustainability value of that packaging. The fourth step in the roadmap is for what's left and cannot be really redesigned into monomaterial or technically ready to recycle, make sure that we develop solutions which will enable a separation of that fraction into a clean stream, which can be then directed towards the appropriate end-of-life solution for that type of composition of waste. And fifth, last but not least, the roadmap includes the effort to identify either existing and applications which can be further expanded, or new and applications which can be developed, demonstrate their sustainable value and economical value, and prove them, including with a fact-based business case, in such a way that all the recycled packaging gets its way back into the economy. I'm going to now become even more concrete in showing you what we're doing and where we are along this roadmap. So probably the most material, important, awaited for, and substantial deliverable of CFLEX is what we call the Design Guidelines for a Circular Economy. And this is exactly what the name it's saying. It is actually a combination of effectively the design guidelines, which are in preparation as phase 1 to be released to public consultation in the coming weeks. The whole idea is that the moment these guidelines have been developed with the contribution of so many stakeholders in the value chain and went through a solid and robust public consultation, are put on the market, and everybody would be ready to actually embrace them, because our ambition and goal is to have them become the market standard for the design guidelines for a circular economy. We think that having many different design guidelines is not helping anyone, and that's why we have this inclusive approach in the development, engaging with many stakeholders, including external to CFLEX. In the meantime, because the design guideline at the end is a written document, we're also looking into having associated with it an assessment tool, which will help those who develop packaging, packaging technologists, designers, brand owners, converters, would be able to use this assessment tool to evaluate different options for new packaging relative to the design guidelines. We also recognize that everything which you develop today in this area can become obsolete tomorrow, because innovation will continue bring new solutions. Therefore, we are looking into also clearly developing a process to future-proof the design guidelines, such as we can continuously have them evolve with the innovation, with the market developments. It's great and it's fantastic to be able to have more of the flexible packaging, which is a growing type of packaging, be recyclable, but it's even more important to have markets to absorb this new coming volume. Therefore, we had to put from the beginning the adequate importance into working toward getting sustainable end markets identified, developed, and proved. It's all in this work stream, like in all the others, about collaboration and about leveraging the expertise and the know-how of our stakeholders to help us come with proposals which will include new recycling processes, starting with advanced sorting, with advanced decontamination, which will lead to better quality of recycled polymers, which can go after this better recycling into more valuable applications. I am really happy to say that K-Show is in fact the first public event in which our stakeholders are in the position to showcase already the results of this work stream. So you can use this barcode to download on your phone the map of the CFLEX stakeholders who are present at K-Show, and I'm really happy to invite you to visit. You just go out and you can visit EREMA, and then I think Hall 9, it's Tomra and the company Herbold. These are three stakeholders who are showcasing now actual physical samples of collection shrink which has been produced with recycled polyethylene, resulting from the trials which this whole stream had done today. I also want to highlight that these are probably the first physical samples you can see today in Europe in which the recyclate it's really coming out of post-consumer waste, which has been household collected through the yellow bin or yellow bag. So we're talking truly about post-consumer waste from the packaging which has been brought home by consumers and then disposed home after use. We are also closely looking at all the possible technologies which either exist already but are not mainstream or are in a startup phase. And we at CFLEX, through the power of the collaboration with this broad range of players in the value chain, can help accelerate. So two very good examples are the delamination type technologies, which are in early R&D stage by startups like Cadel de Inking or Saperatec. You can also visit them at K, on the floor of K. We as CFlex have looked at these technologies and understood that they have true potential to enable more and better recycling of flexible packaging. And we are currently working with them to assess this technology for, again, post-consumer household collected packaging waste. So it's really hard to recycle because of contamination and because of all the other characteristics you might know. Additionally, as I mentioned, one of the steps on the roadmap is to enable the recycling industry to work with clean streams, well-defined streams of multi-materials. One technology which can enable sorting in such well-defined streams is a watermarking technology provided by DigiMark. So we are strong supporters of such technology and committed to help the R&D work for validation of this technology for flexible packaging. Last, but certainly not least, and very important, chemical recycling. We believe that this is a missing piece of the puzzle for the tool set of end-of-life solutions for flexible packaging. And because one of the reasons for which development is not as fast as many of us would want is the nature of the feedstock. We had taken a quite close look into what are the requirements in terms of feedstock for the chemical recycling, with the objective to understand how best CFlex can help. Many times when we talk about our work, we get back the challenge, that's fabulous, but who's going to pay for everything? Which is one of the best questions. What we had chosen to do to help the industry answer the question is, again, with a technical approach, develop a tool which will enable everybody, obviously starting with us who are working on these different solutions, demonstrate with numbers the business case for investment into new technologies, into new processes. Once this tool is ready and once we get the numbers, it will be very important to demonstrate them with real-life projects. So the intention is to also, sometimes next year, start pilot projects to demonstrate and validate the business cases for investment into whatever would be the recommendations of CFlex. Because we're doing all this work, we also think that it's important to communicate. And if you had observed us so far, I can reassure you that you will hear more and more from us, probably simply because we needed time to start gathering facts we can talk about, but we're getting there. We're getting to the moment where we have stories to tell. In conclusion, everything which I shared with you today, it's the testimonial of how we engage in our mission circular. And it's all about fostering collaboration as a whole, flexible packaging value chain. So if you are your skin in the game of the flexible packaging, you're invited to join us either by joining the consortium or by collaborating with our stakeholders to help them accelerate solutions to market. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dana.
My pleasure.
And thank you for watching, and see you tomorrow at K. Bye-bye.